Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hopefully you enjoyed the beautiful weekend. We have more of that nice weather on the way for today, but we do have some changes that are right around the corner. In fact, as early as tomorrow night, we will finally get some rain. And while it's not going to be a significant amount of rainfall, any kind of rain will be really welcomed here in North Georgia because we are actually in a drought. And we're going to talk about all of those things coming up here in the next few minutes. As always, if you have any questions, write them in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Would love to hear where you guys are tuning in from this morning. So here's a look at our setup, essentially. So this is what is going on in our weather pattern right now. High pressure dominating the eastern half of the United States. The way wind rotates around areas of high pressure is clockwise, so we are getting that southeasterly flow to pull in that warmer air. You might have noticed it was a little bit warmer this morning, and it will be warmer this afternoon. That's also helping to keep us nice and dry. Underneath areas of high pressure, air sinks, so that also not only aids in a warming trend, but also doesn't really allow a lot of moisture to creep in. So while we do have that Atlantic influence, that's really just going to help warm us up. And also, notice that little red line up to the top. That's a warm front. So that's lifting to our north while it is all the way up towards the Great Lakes region. That is also influencing our forecast. Just like behind cold fronts, you get cold air. Behind warm fronts, you get warm air. So put the two together and we are going to be slightly warmer today. In fact, near 80 degrees. Now that large weather system, the parent low pressure system, or low pressure center rather, all the way up towards Canada and parts of the Rockies, bringing some wintry mix and snow already to parts of the Rockies, and then all that rain extending all the way down into the plains and parts of Texas along a cold front, and that will knock on our door as we head into tomorrow, and we'll time that out for you very shortly. In the meantime, like I said, we are going to be warm today with temperatures climbing near 80 degrees. Currently, we're at 61 in the city of Atlanta. Behind there, of course, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Lots of blue sky, a really nice day. Here's a look at that 24-hour temperature change, already trending warmer for the day, anywhere between kind of leveling out to 9 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, and we'll be several degrees warmer as we head through the afternoon by the time we hit our high temperature, which is around 3 or 4 o'clock today. So area-wide, upper 50s, low 60s, still pretty chilly out there, but nothing crazy. You could probably have a light jacket and that'll about do it for you. When it comes to the afternoon high temperatures, low to mid 70s in the city of Atlanta, so inside the perimeter, will be closer to 80 degrees. It's really going to be a warm day. Now that humidity is still going to be low, so it's not going to be uncomfortable, but definitely a nice afternoon out there. In some spots like Rome could push 80 degrees, going to be a warm one compared to where we were. Think about this time last week, we were having high temperatures in the low 50s, so quite the stark contrast. Overnight lows will drop into the upper 40s and low 50s, so that warming trend continues even into tomorrow. Still going to be cool, so as the kids go and wait at the bus stop, be sure they still have the jacket with them. You'll definitely need that. These are the kind of days that you have to dress in layers. You have the chilly mornings and then the warm afternoons, so t-shirt underneath the jacket so you can dress appropriately throughout the day because it will be cool. Now as we head into tomorrow, low impact, we do have a severe weather threat for tomorrow. We're all, most of us rather, under that level 1 of 5 threat for severe weather. Simply what that means is the threat looks isolated for us. So we're looking at the potential for maybe an isolated damaging wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour as a cold front moves through. But the good thing is that the system as a whole, as it moves through the area, partly due to the timing of it, is going to weaken as it moves through North Georgia. And that cold front will move from northwest to southeast throughout the late evening. So for the day today, again, dry. Tomorrow afternoon, mainly dry, maybe a few stray showers ahead of our physical cold front that will be pushing into parts of Mississippi and Alabama during the heat of the day. So that's why their severe threat is a little bit greater than ours. They'll have a lot more fuel to work with as that front moves through, and that's ultimately going to heighten their threat for severe weather. They also have a very small tornado threat out to our west, but for us that is not going to be the case. We do not have to worry about any kind of tornadic threat. We'll simply be looking for lightning, heavy rain, and then of course some gusty wind. And if we do manage to have any strong storms, we're talking 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, and then in any severe storms you need that 60 mile per hour wind threshold in order to warrant for a severe storm. So we'll be looking for it, but again, level 1 of 5 threat on the scale. That means just a very isolated threat for severe weather. So I have to ruin my costume with a jacket or not? Well, we're going to talk about Halloween because there's two very different outcomes on the models when it comes to if it's going to rain or not. So not really necessarily concerned about the jacket. At this point, we're concerned about the umbrella. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Randy. Good morning, Jackie. Alrighty. So I showed you that large weather system that's all the way up towards Canada right now in the Rockies. It's also starting to weaken, and so ultimately as that front moves closer to us, not only is the time that this is moving through going to help us, but also the whole weather system is kind of falling apart. So that's going to help keep our severe threat very low. So as we head towards the late evening, so after sunset, we're talking anywhere between 6 and midnight. Models are not necessarily all in tune with the exact timing of this. Some bring it in a little bit earlier. This one in particular brings the front in a little bit later. But either way, again, the timing of this, we're not going to have as much fuel because we're going to lose that daytime heating. Heat is one of those ingredients you need for severe weather, at least fuel, and heat is a fuel factor for these fronts when they move in. So we'll say between around 6 and midnight. Notice some pretty heavy rain indicated by those darker red colors there. So some much needed rain. We're generally looking at like ½ an inch to 1 inch of rain, but we could definitely get some locally heavy amounts. Also notice that you start to get that line of storms. Sometimes within those lines of storms, you'll get those strong wind gusts, hence that isolated severe threat. We could again have some isolated, very strong wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour that could cause some damage. The good news is the ground isn't super saturated. When you have situations where you've gotten a lot of rain and then you have these fronts come through, that could be a big concern when it comes to downed trees, but our ground is actually very dry. In fact, we are in a drought, so any kind of rain will be welcome to us here in the area. We're talking like 0.2 of an inch to maybe ½ an inch of rain, but like I said, we could have some locally heavy amounts, upwards of 1 inch or so, and some of those heavier downpours, but this is going to be a pretty quick moving front. So thankfully flooding, flash flooding, that's definitely not a concern for us along this front, but we are going to watch for some damaging wind gusts, very heavy rainfall, and also some frequent lightning that will be possible. We could have several rumbles of thunder in there as well. You like the rain? Oh yeah, I like the rain, especially at nighttime. This is going to be right around bedtime for me, so that'll be really nice. That helps put me to sleep too. I like when storms come in the later evening. So that front is not going to bring us a huge cold blast of air. So last week we had that system move in and we had this deep trough dig in behind it, and what that did is spill in all that cold Canadian Arctic air. That is not going to be the case with this. This is simply going to put us back near normal. Now notice as we head into the weekend, we will have temperatures generally in the 60s for highs, so it will be a little cooler. That'll be thanks to some extra cloud cover that's around. Now we're going to take you into next week. So Halloween is on Monday. What you're looking at here is the GFS model. So the GFS is trending a little bit wetter. It brings in this low from the Gulf. Now the only reason that I might even consider this to be the better option is because what that low is going to do, because of the way low pressure centers rotate around, the wind rotates around it counterclockwise, all you need to know is this position of the low brings in a lot of Gulf moisture, and ultimately that front could very well take advantage of all that Gulf moisture and bring us more rain on Monday and a wetter solution to Halloween. It does look like this is going to be more of a late morning into the afternoon event, clearing by Tuesday morning, so it is very possible that Halloween is going to be a rainy one. Rain is messy. It is. And on Halloween, it's even messier. So all those kids, they want to get their candy, and that does not help. So everyone's running from house to house and got their umbrellas going and all that good stuff. Now, the GFS, or I just showed you the arrow. The GFS is going to bring us a lesser coverage of rain, also not quite as heavy, so it's a little more spotty. But again, I'm almost more inclined to go with the wetter solution just because of where that low sets up. Typically, when you get those lows to form to our south like that and they pull in all that Gulf moisture, it does usually bring a good coverage of rain. Now, that's definitely not set in stone. That's still a week away, so forecasts change daily, so that is going to change in one way or another, but right now at least plan for the chance of rain on Halloween, and we'll actually start to bring in a rain chance. We'll have a small chance for showers on Saturday. We'll increase that coverage slightly on Sunday, and then Monday for Halloween is the day we'll be watching really carefully. You'd think they'd schedule the rain for a better time. Doesn't that stink when the rain just gets scheduled for times that are inconvenient? I'll talk to somebody about that. So here's a look at our drought monitor. I did mention that while the rain is a little bit pesky at times, especially when it can ruin plans like Halloween, we definitely could use the moisture. We are very, very dry. Our drought monitor shows a severe drought in parts of northeast Georgia. For the most part, our area, parts of North Georgia, are in moderate drought or in those very dry conditions. So far this month, we've only had 2 days in October of measurable rainfall, so we are clearly very behind schedule in the rainfall department for the month. That doesn't mean that necessarily we are going to be in a significant deficit for the year just because of 1 month, but it definitely doesn't help. And we are in a deficit when it comes to our rainfall totals for the year so far. We were for a while in excess, but now we have moved into the deficit range. And that's partly because of our lack of tropical activity. A lot of times in the fall months, we get the tropical storms to move in while they do usually weaken, but that helps give us a lot of very heavy rainfall. And this year we just weren't, which is lucky, so we can't really complain about that, but we didn't get the help from any kind of tropical system this year to really give us a good dose of rain. And so we could use any that we can get, and we will have the chance. So today, upper 70s, and then as we head into tomorrow evening, we'll have that chance for thunderstorms, mainly as we head into the late evening. So we'll look between around 6 and midnight with the main line of storms rolling through metro Atlanta, the downtown area, as we head into around 8 to 10 o'clock, and then pushing east as we head into the overnight hours. We could have an isolated severe storm along that with gusty wind, frequent lightning, of course heavy rain, and the isolated severe storm, we're talking wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. That's the parameter that you need for a severe thunderstorm, at least one of them, the one that we're going to be watching for. Again, that tornado threat for us is none, no hail threat either. And then as we head into Wednesday, we'll have a small chance for a few lingering showers. That cool air is going to start to settle in. Notice we are going to wake up back in the 40s on Thursday morning, so you'll definitely need to keep those jackets handy, and that'll be the case for every morning. All the mornings will stay cool, and then the afternoons will go back to more fall-like standards. We'll head into the low 70s rather than pushing 80 degrees today. The weekend will feature more cloud cover and also maybe a few showers Saturday with that better rain chance on Sunday, potentially into Monday for Halloween. So you definitely will want to stay up to date with us in the First Alert Weather app and on air. We will be giving you all the updates as we head closer to Halloween. Again, the models that we look at long range are saying very different things when it comes to the forecast for Halloween. Some are saying that it's going to be a more spotty chance for showers. The others saying it's pretty much going to be a washout for Halloween. So there is a lot of work to be done when it comes to that Halloween forecast. In the meantime, be sure to have that First Alert Weather app, because with that chance for maybe even just an isolated severe storm being in the later evening, it's just something good to know. While it's not really going to impact most of your commute or anything like that, you still want to know if there's any kind of severe storm rolling through your area just by chance. I know some people, like me, work some pretty off hours. So if that's the time that you're typically commuting, or you have any kind of, sports practice tomorrow night, just something that you'll want to be mindful of with that potential for just an isolated strong to severe storm late tomorrow night. And then we will have a nice second half of the week once we get past our cold front tomorrow night. Thanks so much for tuning in with me, guys. Again, if you ever have any weather questions, please feel free to message me on Facebook. My inbox is always open. Until then, I hope everyone has a great Monday.